it's sunny down in Mexico. The sun gets high when I get low. The only way to get there is to let yourself go. Good times are made in Mexico.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do Facebook group questions then. This one, I couldn't help but almost laugh. Just let me read the whole thing through. She said, just wondering, when you ask your travel agent for certain requests, such as, can I get an updated menu for the Eternal Love package or the price of these dates? Did you find yourself waiting a week or two for a response? I've had the same TA for 20 plus years, but I'm curious if this is a normal wait time. The last sentence was really what made me screenshot it, because her saying, I had a travel agent for 20 plus years, after saying it's taking her a week or two to get a response from a weddings team, just screams she's not a destination wedding specialist and that she's just a travel agent.
Yeah, because dealing with weddings is a whole different ballgame. It's a different world dealing with weddings, and that's why you don't want to book with a travel agent. You want to book with a destination wedding specialist, somebody that does that all the time. I don't understand, though, what type of questions are they waiting weeks for responses on?
Literally, her example was asking for an updated menu.
Oh. Well, I mean, let's be real, though. You and I know that the resorts work on island time.
Yes. Well, yeah, I thought that too, but 2 weeks, they're not on that much of an island time.
And what should happen, and brides, please, 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 what should happen in these situations? This is what our team's here for. If you're not getting responses from your weddings team, your weddings planner on resort in a reasonable time frame, bring it to our attention, because we want to escalate that further and get you the response you need. And that's what this agent is probably not doing, but that's part of our job as being an advocate for our clients.
Yeah, I always tell my brides, like, feel free to just leave me CC'd on your emails with the weddings team communication, just so like there's a second set of eyes on making sure they're responding in like a mannerly time.
This industry is so weird because there's so many travel agents and there's so many people, you know, there's no barrier to entry. Everybody can be a travel agent if you want to, and there's all kinds of big, huge, you know, host travel agencies that will bring on anybody, just the way a real estate agency does.
Yep.
They'll bring on anybody because you might sell a house and you might sell travel. But to be a real, true destination wedding specialist, like, it takes a lot more. And that's why everybody on our team, you know, has that background. Either we're destination wedding brides themselves, which is super helpful, or we're in the wedding industry, you know, in the States or in destination as well. And so that really makes, you know, our team different.
So this one, she posted, so my deadline for my room block is coming up December 15th, and I still have many guests that need to book rooms. I have more than the minimum needed for the room block promo, but my travel coordinator is saying I may have fees for guests not staying in my room block now. I didn't see anything about fees for guests except staying at a different location or are more than what my package covers. Has anyone experienced this? And then she also left a comment, they are staying at the resort. They will just have to book through the resort instead of the room block because the last day is December 15th.
No!
Right? Like, I read that and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
I know, like, my first thought was, oh, are they staying somewhere else? That's a big red flag too, because, you know, you don't do a destination wedding so your guests can stay somewhere else. Also, resorts are not into hosting weddings for guests to stay somewhere else, right? It kind of defeats the whole purpose. That was where my thought was going. And then you threw out the whole, no, they're going to stay on site, but they just have to book outside the lot. No, who is guiding these people? And this is why there is so much misinformation out there. Like, this annoys me. There is so much incorrect information. There are too many agents that don't know what they're doing, and I don't know why there's so much misinformation getting to clients. Please stop listening to these people.
Well,
Stop
there's
listening
just
to
so
these
many
people.
things wrong with this post in general. Like, one saying that they have to pay a fee just because they aren't booking within the room block, but they're booking a room directly at the resort. And then saying that they can't book within the room block after her deadline date.
Well, hold on. So let's address number one. That could be true. There are resorts that obviously do charge a fee if you don't book in the room block.
But they're staying at the resort.
But there are resorts that do that.
I feel like I know what you're thinking of. And is it that even though they're booking at the resort, like directly through the resort, they'll still have to charge them a fee for the wedding events?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I know this resort and this group is not one of those. So
All right. I was like, there are resorts that do that. So
I know this
you know,
is one that doesn't do that.
yeah. So no, if it's one that doesn't do that, then that's not a concern. Further question into that is, why are your guests booking outside of the room block?
I think because her travel agent is telling her no one can book it within it after that December 15th date.
Oh, she's specifically talking about those people that are booking after.
Yeah.
Okay, no, because that obviously doesn't work, because you can still book in the room block afterwards. Your rate may not be guaranteed, your inventory may not be guaranteed, but your agent can absolutely still take those reservations and still get it in qualified in the room block. So please talk to your agent. If you're that bride that posted this, please talk to your agent and discuss so you absolutely know 100% how it works. You can still book late reservations. They just may be subject to change. They may not be available.
Yeah.
The rate might not be the same. All those variables go out the window after the book by date. Your agent can still book it. I don't understand why these conversations aren't being had.
If it's not in your contract, you shouldn't be paying a fee for people booking outside of your room block. So,
Oh, 100%. Yes, that's another point. Absolutely, that fee would be in your contract. And at the property that I was thinking of, it absolutely is in your wedding contract.
yeah. And I don't have the screenshot of it from that, but I'm pretty sure she commented back at Dawn saying it wasn't in the contract. So I
Yeah,
think
well,
it's just her
remember-
travel agent doing some maybe shady stuff. I don't know.
It may be. That may be as well. I mean, obviously, it's in the agent's best interest to make the bookings in the room block. That's how we earn our money, right? So nobody's hiding that. But it's in the couple's best interest as well, because if you book inside the room block, those bookings count towards your incentives.
Yep.
Those incentives, again, there's too many agents doing their own thing and not giving incentives to the couples, right? They may be taking it, you know, that leads down a whole nother path,
Yeah,
right?
that's a whole nother conversation.
There's agencies that are like, oh, we're going to do your wedding planning too. We're going to do this, and it's all free. And it's like, well, okay, is it free? Because there's not really anything in life that's really, truly free, right?
No.
When I offered free photography, I did that for free, but I made sure I was earning enough money from the wedding bookings
Right.
in order to cover my expenses. So it wasn't technically free. The bride and groom didn't have to pay anything. But there's always, you know, back end as far as how things are working.
Yeah.
So
Unless you're
you know,
going on a preview your I do trip, those are free.
yes, those actually are truly free, but you do have to apply for them and be
Yeah.
accepted in. I could go a million different paths with this question, but ultimately, I just get so frustrated at the misinformation that is out there in social media, in AI as well. I mean, you know, some of the stuff that you ask AI that it comes up with, and I'm just like, no, that's completely dead wrong. You know, because AI can't be at the resort. They don't know. You're like, all it does is reference what's information's available online.
And I feel like using AI for destination weddings in general is going to be super hard because things are constantly changing, like weekly almost, of sort of information. So it's like, it's almost impossible for it to keep up.
No, believe me, things are changing weekly at every resort that we go to.
Yeah.
And
But we keep up. That's why you use humans.
that's exactly.
This one, I feel like I screenshotted it just because, like, I feel like a lot of brides start their planning journey and they start looking at prices and they're like, oh, this is so cheap. Oh, this is only $500. And then when they get their bill, they're slapped with the 16%, 15% fee, yada, 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 yada.
Right.
This one question she asked, taxing fees. We got our final wedding contract yesterday and noticed the external vendor fee has a tax attached to it. Without me digging into specific taxes at play, does anyone know if this is normal or poor bookkeeping?
This is why you use a destination wedding specialist who understands how the resorts work, because some resorts include those taxes and fees in their pricing. Many resorts do not.
I was gonna say, I can't think of many that do.
Most don't.
Yeah.
Most don't. Most you get hit with that at the end. So you see one price, and then when you work in that 15% tax plus another 16% or 16% tax plus another 15% service fee, your pricing goes up dramatically. So it's 31%.
Yeah. Which that adds up so quickly if you're thinking about all this stuff, because that could be like applied to flowers, any sort of decor, any sort of vendor, which I feel like the vendor one is the one that catches people the most off guard because they're already like, I'm paying for an outside vendor fee. Now I have to pay an additional fee on top of the fee.
I know. And yeah, these are all things to watch out for. But even with all that said, I mean, there's still the overall cost of a destination wedding, regardless. It's kind of that nickel and diming thing effect, right? It's like, okay, well, if you look at the overall cost, the total spend, it's definitely less than doing a local wedding in the US, right? But when you're planning it, it doesn't feel that way because you get nickel and dimed on everything. You get one price and then you get, well, this is added, this is added, this is added, this is added. And so by the end, you feel frustrated. You know, part of that is just like there's a sticker shock. There's a sticker shock that comes with doing a wedding, period, in the US or here in Mexico.
It's funny you say that because literally this morning I saw, I didn't screenshot it, but I saw another Facebook post about someone like making a comment on, I'm getting married on a Sunday and they want to charge me $250 and it feels like I'm just getting nickel and dimed now at this point. And I was like, yeah. I mean, like, I get it because it's getting thrown at you, like, kind of last minute. But I feel like if, like you said, if she were to add it all up and take a step back, it's still going to be significantly cheaper than a local wedding.
No, but and that's what's frustrating because it's all about setting those expectations for the clients. And so that's why generally when I start my consultations with a new couple, I kind of go over the budget and I look at total spend, not necessarily diving into what each individual thing costs. So if I can give them a rough idea of total spend, that gives them a better idea. But, you know, it's the problem is it's like, you know, if I say, hey, your total spend may be 20 grand, you know, for a group, but then they dive into the packages and they say, well, this package only costs 11,000. They think they're immediately saved 9 grand.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely not.
on spending. But that's because the base package costs that, but then you're paying per person additional, then you're paying DJ, then you're paying so you're paying for things above and beyond that. And that's where you begin to feel nickel and dime, even though it's really, the truth of the matter is, it's not that you're being nickel and dimed, it's just that you're customizing your event. And it's easy to look at the big picture when you're done and out of it. One thing we're introducing to our brides as well is this awesome spreadsheet we've been working on and getting it ready to help visualize the wedding planning experience for our couples so that they can see, they can keep track of everything easier and get an overall vision of their total spend easier in one place. I think a lot of it comes down to just organization. You know, because if you can, you feel nickel and dimed when you're doing each individual thing, but if you can keep track of it all, put it in the spreadsheet, okay, here's the overall budget, here's, you know, how much I've spent of that budget so far, and then, you know, you get an add-on fee, you know, yeah, it hits you, you still have that sticker shock, but then you go ahead and put it in the spreadsheet and you're like, okay, well, like overall, I'm still under my overall budget. Keeps your eye on the bigger picture.
It does. It's also hard because for destination wedding brides, like you have to be in a mindset to accept, like you're not going to see the venue, you're not going to go in person and talk to your weddings team. Like you really kind of have to put the trust within it. And that's why I also feel like Facebook groups are so huge because the brides are commenting and they'll like sometimes even like provide some of their budget or what they like spent. And I feel like that gives a little bit more of ease of mind to like hear the aftermath of like everything actually happening and it was all okay. So I feel like that's like one of the main benefits to Facebook groups is being able to read the reviews.
It's interesting because it's like, you know, what is a content creator, you know, and it's just like, all right, well, I still don't know that definition other than, hey, somebody that's kind of providing behind the scenes type of stuff, but also may come in with some preset ideas on some reels they want to do and help facilitate coordinating those. But a little bit more behind the scenes. I think it's hard to verbalize to somebody to try to sell it. Because in a way, sometimes it's like, all right, well, that's just a photographer, or that's just a videographer. No, it's kind of a unique job. I'd like to see those, though. I'd love to see, I kind of want to go and just do that.
Sunny down in Mexico, the sun gets high.